Welcome on board, chosen one. Wild how they spent years trying to break you, and now they can't stop staring like you're some glitch in their reality. Funny how the same people who once called you average, lost, or not going anywhere are suddenly acting like you're some top-secret project that escaped the lab. They whisper to each other like scared kids, asking the same question over and over. Who's helping them? Who's behind all this? Cute, isn't it? The panic, the confusion, the way their voices shake when they say your name, like the universe just dropped a plot twist they were never prepared for. They look at you now and choke on their own predictions. Remember when they said you'd fail? Look who's trying not to bow now. Remember when they laughed at your silence? Now your silence is the loudest thing in the room. The storm hit, it passed, and you're still standing like the villain who walked out of the flames without a scratch. And the best part? They can't figure out how you pulled it off. They're convinced someone must be feeding you answers, holding your hand, guiding your every move. Press the like button and subscribe to pay this message back. See, chosen one, they can't handle the idea that you did this without their approval, their support, or their permission. It kills them that you rebuilt yourself in the dark, where their opinions couldn't reach you. They've been watching closely, but they missed everything that mattered. They missed the nights you broke and rebuilt yourself. They missed the moments where the universe whispered back to you after everyone else went silent. They missed the hunger, the grit, the quiet rage that shaped you into someone they no longer recognize. They walk around pretending they know your story, but they only witnessed the highlight reel. They didn't see you crawling out of the ruins of everything you once believed in. They didn't see how many times you nearly gave up. They didn't see you get torn apart by people you trusted, only to rise with new eyes and a colder heart. They don't know the version of you that was made from scraped knees, sleepless nights, and a hope so thin it almost snapped. They only know the version standing here today, and that version terrifies them. You want a real story? Here's one. There was a moment, months ago, where you felt like the whole world was closing in. Everything you touched fell apart. Every door slammed in your face. Every voice told you to settle for less. And one night, when you felt like disappearing, something inside you snapped into place. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it was final. You stood up, wiped your face, and said, "Enough." That was the moment you met the real guide behind everything. Not a mentor, not a leader, not a team. It was the version of you that saw through every lie, the version of you that didn't care about fitting in, the version of you that finally realized you were done playing by rules designed to keep you small. That's what they're sensing now, that shift, that evolution. The universe opened a door for you, and you walked through it like you owned it. You didn't ask for permission. You didn't tell anyone your next move. You just moved. And that scares your enemies more than any threat ever could. You're not the same person who begged for crumbs. You're the one quietly building things that will outlive their gossip. They keep dissecting your every step, like investigators searching for fingerprints. They analyze your posts, your words, your timing, your silence. They try matching your progress to some known strategy, but nothing lines up. Nothing makes sense to them. You're moving too smooth, too calculated, too unbothered. They don't understand that your real blueprint came from places they've never survived. It came from disappointments that broke most people. It came from pain that sharpened your instincts. It came from loneliness that forced you to hear the universe when everyone else drowned it out with noise. And here's the secret that hits them the hardest. Something has been helping you. Something has been guiding you. Something has been pushing you forward every time they tried to hold you back. But it's not what they think. It's not a hero in a cape or a mastermind in a tower. It's not some rich backer or a wise teacher. It's the force you created when you finally understood your worth. It's the universe stepping in because you dared to rise when everything told you to fall. They don't have that. They can't replicate that. They can't steal that. They can't fake that. So when they ask who's helping you, let them stay confused. Let them dig. Let them panic. Because the answer is closer than they think. It's you, the version of you they never saw coming. So, chosen one, you felt the shift already, the whispers, the questions, the eyes tracking your every move. They're obsessed with figuring out who's guiding you, who's building you, who's feeding you this unstoppable momentum. Before we go any deeper, seal your spot in this moment. Hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with 777 to show you're one of the few who actually understands what's happening here. This isn't just support. It's you locking in your place among people who move differently, think differently, and rise from places the world swore would bury them. Let them wonder how you keep winning. Let them choke on the mystery while you grow stronger with every truth you uncover. And now, chosen one, we're stepping into the real story piece by piece. If you truly carry that energy they can't decode, you'll feel the pull to stay through every second of what comes next. The universe didn't bring you here for entertainment. It brought you here for revelation. So take a breath, settle in, and let's begin unfolding exactly why they keep asking, who's helping you? And why the real answer hits closer than they ever expected. Number 1. The question that keeps them up at night. Funny how the same people who prayed for your downfall are now begging for the name of the ghost holding you up. They can't stand it, chosen one. Your rise feels personal to them, like you broke some unspoken rule that said you were supposed to stay small. And now they're obsessed, digging through your life like desperate detectives, convinced your success must belong to someone else. They don't believe you earned it. They don't believe you built it. They don't even believe you think this sharply on your own. Their minds simply can't stretch far enough to accept the truth. Because if you really did this without a mentor, without a guide, without some genius mastermind pulling your strings, then that means something terrifying for them. You did it with nothing but yourself. And that makes you dangerous in ways they never planned for. They tell each other, nobody rises this fast alone. Oh, look who's sweating now. They scroll through your posts like addicts, take screenshots of your wins, replay your moves like soldiers reviewing battlefield footage. They want to spot the hand behind you, the voice whispering your strategy, the secret person feeding you the answers. But every time they think they're close, they hit a dead end. Every theory collapses, every assumption falls apart. They can't find anything because there's nothing to find. You didn't borrow power, you became it. And the more they can't figure it out, the crazier they get. Some even whisper, there's no way this is just them. Someone's helping, someone's teaching, someone's backing this. They need a name. They need a person to blame. They need something, anything that lets them sleep at night without accepting that you outgrew them while they weren't paying attention. Why do they care so much? Why are they this pressed about your rise? Simple. Your success exposes their excuses. Every step you take forward reminds them of their own stagnation. You moved without validation, without applause, without anyone clapping in the background, and that burns them because they've spent their whole lives waiting for permission. You didn't. You chose yourself, and that's what makes you a threat. Let's be real. They saw you fall. They saw you break. They saw you disappear into the shadows they thought would swallow you whole. So when you reappeared, stronger, sharper, colder, they didn't know how to process it. There was no mentor tagged in your story, no motivational coach posting your progress, no group cheering your comeback. You came back like a villain who built an empire in a basement everyone forgot existed. Quiet, calculated, untouchable. And the universe watched you rebuild piece by piece, turning pain into precision. That's what they can't comprehend. They don't understand transformations that happen in silence. They don't understand growth born from being underestimated. They don't recognize strength that isn't loud, so they invent stories. They create imaginary mentors. They assign your power to anyone but you. Who's helping them? Who's training them? Who's giving them this game? You want the real punchline? Their questions aren't about admiration, they're about fear. They're scared you're not supposed to be this good. They're scared you're not supposed to be this calculated. They're scared you're not supposed to be this aware of their motives. So if they can convince themselves someone else is guiding you, it gives them comfort. It means you're not inherently powerful. It means you're not naturally a problem. It means someone else is the real threat, not you. They're wrong, of course, but let them keep believing that lie if it helps them sleep. At this point in the story, you might even be asking yourself, why does it bother them this much? Why are they so obsessed with my guidance? Because if they admit you did all of this alone, they'd have to admit they never really knew you. They'd have to admit they underestimated someone who was always 10 steps ahead. They'd have to admit you played the game better than they ever could. They'd have to admit you beat them without touching them. And nothing humiliates an enemy more than realizing the person they tried to break rebuilt themselves into someone unstoppable, with no external help, no savior, no puppet master, just grit, just clarity, just that cold fire inside you that they never respected until it was too late. Think back to your past. Remember that moment. Everyone has one where you felt completely abandoned. No support, no guidance, no hand reaching out, just you and your mess. They thought that moment would finish you. They thought that was the chapter where you'd stay stuck forever. But instead, that's the chapter where you met the strongest version of yourself. That moment turned you into someone they'll be studying for years. You learned to think differently, move differently, cut differently. You learned to read people without them opening their mouths. You learned to protect your energy like a vault. You learned to trust the universe more than you trusted human promises. That version of you is the one rising now, the one they can't explain, the one that feels like it came out of nowhere, the one they swear must be backed by someone powerful. They're right, you are backed by someone powerful, you. They don't want to believe that, so they're hunting for a shadow figure that doesn't exist. They want to expose your mentor, but all they'll ever expose is their own insecurity. They want to discredit your rise, but all they'll ever do is highlight how far behind they really are. They want to know who helped you, but the truth is simpler and more humiliating than anything they could imagine. No one coached your intuition, no one trained your resilience, no one gave you your timing, your insight, your instinct for danger, your precision under pressure. That came from surviving things they'd never last 5 minutes in. The universe didn't spoon-feed you answers. It handed you situations that forced you to evolve, and evolve you did. So let them keep asking the same tired question. Let them tear apart your life, searching for clues. Let them make up stories, build theories, and accuse nameless people of shaping you. Let them stay confused. Let them stay pressed. Let them stay obsessed. Because the answer they're chasing is already in the mirror they refuse to look into. They keep asking, who's helping you? And every time, your silence hits them harder than any answer ever could. The truth is closer than they think. Number 2. the smile that ruins their entire investigation. Nothing rattles an enemy more than a smile they can't decode. Your silence confused them, your comeback terrified them, but your smile, that broke them. They wanted answers. You gave them calmness. That's why they panic. When the blueprint doesn't match the builder, the inspectors start losing their minds. They hate your smile, chosen one, hate it with a special kind of fear they don't have a name for yet. They've run every test, scanned every angle, compared every move, and still nothing. You don't match any system they've seen. You don't follow any mentor they recognize. You don't sound like anybody who trained under someone famous. You don't move like someone who copied a winning formula. Your entire energy feels custom-built, handcrafted, stitched together by nights and battles you never spoke about. And that smile of yours, that smile is the final glitch in their entire investigation. Imagine this. A group of people sitting in a dim room, replaying your life like detectives reviewing footage. They pause the screen when you smile, zoom in, hoping the curve of your lips will betray something. A clue, a teacher, a strategy. But it never does. All they see is someone who survived hell with a grin sharp enough to cut through every lie they told about you. Your smile is too calm, too certain, too earned. They know fake confidence. They know borrowed strength. They know the high-pitched, shaky smile of someone pretending to be okay. But yours is the kind forged in fire, the kind that says, "I got through what you'd never survive." And that makes their stomach drop. Here's what they never say out loud. Your smile exposes them. It exposes how wrong they were. It exposes how deeply they underestimated you. It exposes how little control they have now. They used to be the ones who made you second-guess yourself. Now, your calmness makes them question everything they thought they understood. And that's the truth. They're not confused because they don't know your blueprint. They're confused because you don't have one. You built yourself outside the grid, outside their categories, outside their expectations. They can't file you under self-help follower, motivational student, guided prodigy, or team-powered rise. None of the usual labels apply. You were supposed to break. Instead, you broke the mold. You might even ask yourself right now, why does my smile bother them so much? Why does it trigger this much chaos? Because it breaks the illusion they depended on. It proves you didn't need their approval. You didn't need their support. You didn't need their blueprint. You didn't need their permission to rise. Your smile tells them you were always capable. You just stopped waiting for anyone to notice. Imagine this, a chessboard, pieces scattered, the enemy ready to strike. The board is tilted against you. Everything looks hopeless. But instead of panicking, you sit back, arms crossed, and smile. That one smile ruins their entire confidence, because no one smiles in a losing position unless they already planned the ending. That was you, game after game after game. Or picture this scene. They're standing over your life like architects reviewing a building that shouldn't exist. You built floors they didn't authorize, bridges they said were impossible, rooms they thought you'd never reach. They check the blueprint, blank. They flip the page, still blank. They ask, who helped build this? You smile, because you know the truth. They're looking for a blueprint that only exists inside your scars. They're terrified of that smile because it proves something they never wanted to admit. You learned everything they tried to hide from you. You unlocked doors they swore you'd never find. You figured out systems they thought were too complex for you. You rose in silence, without witnesses, without applause, without safety nets. And now your smile is the only evidence that you've been operating on a level they have no access to. Even worse, They recognize that smile. They've seen it before, but not on someone like you. It's the smile of someone who knows something the room doesn't. It's the smile of someone who already walked through fire and doesn't fear the smoke anymore. It's the smile of someone who doesn't beg to be chosen because they finally chose themselves. That's why they panic. That's why they whisper. That's why they obsess. They've been trying to identify the teacher who trained you, the system that grew you, the mastermind that upgraded you, but nothing fits because all their guesses come from a world you outgrew. You evolved past their imagination. They ask, who sharpened them? Who taught them to move like this? Who gave them this mindset? Who helped them build all this so fast? Here's the truth that burns their lungs. You didn't learn from a person. You learned from pressure. You learned from heartbreak. You learned from moments where life shoved you into corners people like them never had to fight their way out of. Pain became your mentor. Isolation became your instructor. The universe became your silent coach, pushing you forward every time you thought you were done. Imagine this final scene. They're watching you walk into a room, quiet, calm, with that same unsettling smile. People turn, energy shifts, and even the ones who don't know your story can feel something powerful radiating off you. And the ones who do know your past, they freeze, because your smile confirms something they feared. You didn't rise because someone carried you. You rose because you learned how to carry yourself. Your smile is the summary of every battle you survived. Your smile is the proof of every truth they tried to hide. Your smile is the end of their investigation and the beginning of your legend. They can't decode it because it wasn't built for them. It wasn't built for the world. It wasn't built to prove anything. It was built inside you, alone, when there was no one else left. Let them keep digging. Let them keep guessing. Let them keep whispering, because every time you smile, it reminds them the answer they're looking for is closer than they think, and terrifyingly enough for them, it's been staring at them the whole time. Number 3. The force hiding in plain sight. They keep searching behind you, never realizing the real force was rising inside you. They're hilarious, chosen one, truly. They're running around trying to find the mysterious mentor who shaped you, convinced some genius must be handing you the answers. They look for a coach, a strategist, a mastermind, anything that lets them pretend your power didn't come from you. Because if you really built all this on your own, then what does that say about them? That's the part they don't want to face. They overlook the one force that's been with you since the beginning, the version of you that refused to die, the version of you molded by quiet nights, heavy moments, and choices nobody saw. They assume guidance must come from a person because their strength always depended on someone else. They can't imagine power that wasn't borrowed, taught, or gifted. They don't know what self-created energy looks like. Imagine this. They keep opening doors, expecting to expose your helper, but every door just reflects back their own fear. Or picture them digging through your history like archaeologists, hoping to find the moment someone swooped in to save you. But the deeper they dig, the more they realize the truth. No savior ever arrived. You built the blueprint by bleeding for it. You might be wondering, why do they keep assuming I had help? Because the alternative terrifies them. It means you weren't trained, you weren't coached, you weren't shaped, you evolved. And evolution scares people who stayed the same. The universe sharpened you through pressure they've never experienced. That's the real force they overlook. Not a person, not a mentor, not a guide. You, the hardest version of you, the one they never expected to meet, and now can't escape. Number 4. The side of you they were never supposed to meet. Your shadow didn't break you, it trained you. They're out here hunting mentors while the real advisor has been living inside you like a locked vault they never had clearance to open. This isn't some friendly guide with soft words and warm advice. No, your true advisor was the version of you built from every betrayal you swallowed, every scar you hid, every collapse you stood up from when nobody thought you would. It's the part of you that grew teeth in the dark when the world hoped you'd stay harmless. And now that this shadow self walks beside you in daylight, it scares people more than any teacher you could have named. Imagine this. Every time they betrayed you, the shadow self took notes. Every time someone left you alone, it sharpened its instincts. Every moment you thought you were breaking, the shadow self was actually molding you into someone they were never ready to face. They thought they were destroying you. Cute. They were upgrading your operating system. You might ask, why does this version of me hit them so hard? Because the shadow self doesn't play nice. It doesn't forget. It doesn't doubt. It doesn't wait for anyone to save you. It's the side of you that learned to stand up with no applause, walk forward with no hand to hold, and trust silence more than empty mouths. That's the advisor guiding you now. Picture them seeing you move with confidence they didn't teach you, wisdom they didn't give you, strength they didn't approve of. They panic because they can't trace it, they can't track it, they can't stop it. Your shadow self is ungovernable, unpredictable, unstoppable. Let them keep asking who trained you. The real answer is the part of you they tried to kill, and now it's the part leading you forward. Number 5. The intelligence they never saw coming. Nothing is scarier to an enemy than a mind sharpened by pain they never survived. They keep pretending you must have studied under some mastermind, some elite strategist, some brilliant thinker who sculpted your moves. Cute theory. Too bad it collapses the moment they see how you operate. You don't move like someone who memorized lessons. You move like someone who lived them. Your intelligence wasn't taught in classrooms or delivered through motivational speeches. It was carved into you through raw memory, pattern recognition, and experience that hit hard enough to leave marks you still don't talk about. Your shadow doesn't speak in quotes. It speaks in scars. It speaks in flashbacks. It speaks in warnings your body learned long before your mind caught up. This isn't wisdom. This is data collected from every time you were betrayed. Every time someone underestimated you, every time you watched someone show their true face. You built your intelligence the way storms build thunder, slowly, violently, undeniably. Imagine this. They're watching you make a move that seems too perfect, too precise, too timed, and they assume someone coached you. They never realize your brain is running simulations from memories they never had to endure. Or picture them trying to predict your next step, only to get blindsided because your decisions come from a deeper place they've never accessed. They don't recognize this kind of intelligence because they've never been cornered long enough to grow it. You might think, why does my instinct scare them so much? Because they can't track instincts forged in pain. They can't anticipate someone who reads danger before it speaks. They can't fight someone who learned to see patterns in people the moment they walk into the room. They can't dismantle a mind that built itself after being torn apart. This dark intelligence of yours, it's the kind they can't buy, can't teach, can't fake, and that's why they panic every time you smile like you already know how the story ends. Number 6. The degree they could never survive. Some people went to class, you went to war. They love to ask where you learned all this. Who trained you? Who taught you to think like this? They want a name, a school, a program, something they can point at and say, "Ah, that's where it came from." They want a neat explanation because the real one is too brutal for their world. Your education didn't come from textbooks. It came from trenches they were never built to survive. Your lessons weren't taught by professors. They were delivered by loss, pressure, betrayal, and every moment life shoved you face first into reality with no warning. You didn't study emotional intelligence. You earned it by trusting the wrong people and watching everything collapse. You didn't learn discipline. You built it in the nights where you couldn't afford to fall apart. You didn't pick up strategic thinking. You developed it while trying to navigate situations so messy no classroom could simulate them. Your training was the kind that leaves no certificates, just instincts sharper than knives. Imagine this. They brag about degrees, but you carry battle scars. They quote theories, but you've lived the experiments. They panic when things go wrong. You adjust like you expected it. Or picture them falling apart at a setback you'd call Tuesday. They think you're lucky. They think you got help. They think someone coached you. No, you survived a reality they only read about. You might wonder, why can't they understand where I really learned? Because they can't imagine gaining strength from situations that would have destroyed them. They can't comprehend education that demands pain as tuition. They can't respect intelligence earned under pressure because they never faced pressure that didn't come with a safety net. Your trenches made you. Your suffering shaped you. Your experience forged you into something no classroom could ever produce. And that's why they'll never match you. Your education came with consequences they'd never dare to pay. Number 7. The counsel they never knew you had. Your past didn't haunt you. It started advising you. They keep digging for the mentor behind your rise, but they'll never find the counsel that actually guides you, because it isn't made of people, it's made of you. Every version of you that ever broke, every version of you that ever bled, every version that walked through betrayal barefoot while pretending everything was fine. They didn't disappear. They stayed. They gathered. They built something inside you that operates like a midnight council, whispering truths you didn't know you learned. They think you move alone. They're wrong. You move with an army of your former selves standing behind you like silent generals. The wounded you warns you who to avoid. The angry you spots manipulation before it breathes. The abandoned you detects danger the moment a smile looks too friendly. The betrayed you can sense lies in someone's tone before the words even land. Imagine this. While they brag about networking, your guidance comes from memories that cost you pieces of your soul. Or picture them trying to predict you, not knowing you're pulling from data created by 10 different versions of yourself. Each one shaped by a different battlefield. No wonder you're impossible to read. You might ask, why does this scare them so much? Because they can't fight a person who carries their entire past as armor. They can't deceive someone whose instincts were forged by every mistake that once shattered them. They can't manipulate someone who already survived the worst parts of themselves. This midnight council inside you, they didn't choose it. You didn't plan it, but it formed anyway. In silence, in pain, in moments where no one came to save you. And now it makes you unstoppable, unpredictable, and impossible to break. Number 8. The reason your every move feels like black magic to them. Nothing looks more supernatural than a person who finally learned how to use everything life ever threw at them. They swear you're doing something impossible. They swear your timing is too perfect, your choices too sharp, your comebacks too well-aimed. They whisper like you're pulling strings from some hidden tower, like someone must be feeding you intel the rest of them don't have access to. But the truth is far simpler and way more terrifying for them. Your moves look supernatural because they're built from years of internal data your shadow self has been collecting in silence. Every betrayal taught you a pattern. Every heartbreak taught you a warning sign. Every downfall taught you timing. Every recovery taught you patience. Your shadow archived it all, quietly, efficiently, like a supercomputer built from pain they never witnessed. Imagine this. They see you sidestep a trap before it even forms and assume you got a tip from someone. Or picture them watching you walk away from a person who seemed fine, not realizing your shadow recognized a danger signal from 3 betrayals ago. They think you're psychic. They think you're being coached. No, you're just done ignoring what your past tried so hard to teach you. And you might wonder, why does it look supernatural to them but normal to me? Because they never had to survive what you did. They never had to build instincts from scratch. They never had to grow antennae for danger, manipulation, fake love, or hidden motives. Their lives weren't shaped by trenches. Yours was. Your decisions look orchestrated because your shadow has already lived the worst-case scenarios. Your reactions look calculated because you've seen these patterns repeat enough times to predict them like weather. Your victories feel inevitable because you learned how to move in silence long before they ever noticed you. They call it supernatural. You call it experience, finally speaking up. Number 9. The navigation system they never knew you were building. Your suffering didn't break you, it programmed you. They watch you move with impossible accuracy, chosen one, like you've got some hidden GPS telling you exactly where to go and who to avoid. They swear someone must be guiding you, someone must be dropping directions into your ear. But the truth is way colder, way darker, and way more embarrassing for them. Your shadow became your navigation system. Every mistake you made downloaded a map. Every betrayal updated the route. Every dead end you hit recalculated your path in ways they could never see. You didn't wake up wise. You woke up experienced. That's what they can't understand. They think real guidance comes from coaches and mentors. Yours came from nights where you sat alone trying to figure out why the world kept punching holes in you. They never saw you rewrite yourself from scratch after each hit. They never saw how you took failure and turned it into memory, turned memory into recognition, turned recognition into direction. Imagine this. They're watching you walk away from a situation and whisper, "How did they know?" Not realizing your internal GPS recognized the same danger pattern you lived through years ago. Or picture them shocked when you choose the right path instantly while they're still debating. They think you're guessing. No, you're following coordinates carved into you by pain. You might wonder, why does my internal guidance scare them this much? Because their direction came from comfort. Yours came from survival. They follow what they're told. You follow what you earned. They trust people. You trust patterns. They rely on advice. You rely on instinct that's been tested under pressure. Your suffering became your compass. Your wrong turns became your insight. Your dead ends became your reroutes. And now your shadow guides you with a precision no outsider could ever match. They think someone's leading you. They're wrong. You built a GPS out of every scar they expected to silence you. Number 10. The calculator in your darkness they will never touch. Your shadow doesn't guess. It calculates faster than fear, faster than doubt, faster than any enemy watching you. They swear you're being coached by some elite tactician, some hidden strategist pulling strings behind you. They watch the way you move, the timing, the precision, the calm under pressure, and they panic because it doesn't line up with anything they understand. They try to study you, break you down, decode you like a puzzle. But nothing fits, nothing matches, nothing explains the speed at which your instincts fire. That's because the intelligence guiding you isn't outside of you. It's the shadow inside you, running calculations faster than your conscious mind can even form the question. You don't think your way through danger, you feel the pattern before it forms. You don't analyze fake people. Your shadow flags them before they smile. You don't debate your next move. Your instincts have already finished the math. Imagine this. They're standing in a room full of people, trying to read the energy while you walk in and instantly know who to avoid, who's lying, who's desperate, who's masking insecurity. Your shadow scans the room like a machine built from every betrayal you lived through. Or picture them assuming you got lucky when you dodged a setup, not realizing your shadow predicted the entire situation 3 steps ahead. You might ask, why does my intuition feel faster than thought? Because it is. Your conscious mind learned from books. Your shadow learned from survival. It processed every wound, every mistake, every warning sign, and turned it into raw data. It doesn't talk in language. It talks in signals, sensations, impulses that feel almost supernatural to people who never built such internal armor. They can't access this strategic intelligence because they never paid its price. They avoided hardship. You absorbed it. They escaped discomfort. You walked through it. They refused to look at their darkness. You made yours your ally. Your shadow became your strategist. Your scars became your algorithms. Your pain became your processor. And now the calculations inside you are so fast, so sharp, so quietly lethal that your moves seem orchestrated by something cosmic. They call it impossible. They call it unnatural. They call it someone must be helping them. No. Your shadow just learned how to think at a speed they were never built for. Number 11. The memory bank that hunts them in their sleep. Your shadow didn't forgive, it archived. This is the part that makes your enemies flinch when your name comes up. They think your shadow is just a guide, just an instinct, just a bit of intuition sprinkled on top of your transformation. They have no idea how deep it really goes. Your shadow remembers everything, every insult whispered behind your back, every fake smile aimed at your face, every time they laughed when you fell, every moment they were certain you'd never rise again. They think you forgot. You didn't. You evolved. Your shadow uses their disrespect as fuel, their underestimation as fire, their betrayal as blueprint. Imagine this. Every time someone tried to belittle you, your shadow quietly stored the footage. Every time someone said you weren't enough, it bookmarked the moment. Every time someone chose someone else over you, it sharpened itself a little more. They thought they were breaking you. All they were doing was uploading more data into the system that now guides your every move. Picture them watching you rise now, confused, terrified, whispering, "Why them? How did they get so smart, so strong, so sharp?" They'll never admit the truth. They built half of this version of you themselves. Every wound they gave you became a lesson. Every loss became a weapon. Every humiliation became a code your shadow cracked and stored for future use. You might wonder, is it petty to remember? No, it's survival. Your shadow doesn't seek revenge. It seeks precision. It knows who deserves access and who should be shut out forever. It remembers patterns, motives, traits, energy. Not to hurt people, but to make sure no one ever hurts you the same way again. And that's what terrifies them most. Your rise isn't random. It isn't luck. It's the result of a shadow that remembers everything they hoped you'd forget and turned it into power they can never steal. Number 12, the price tag. They were never willing to pay. They want your throne, but they'd never survive your origin story. This is where the gap becomes brutal, chosen one. They look at your rise like it's magic, like you woke up one day glowing with some untouchable force. They want your strength, but not the nights that broke you. They want your clarity, but not the confusion you drowned in. They want your calm, but not the storms that carved it into your bones. They want the results, never the process. And that's exactly why they'll never understand the source of your power. Imagine this. They see you winning and think it looks easy. They see you unbothered and think you're naturally detached. They see you shining and assume the universe handed you something. They never saw you clawing your way out of places they wouldn't last an hour in. They never saw you rebuild yourself after betrayals that would have ended them. They never saw the nights where you held your own heart together with shaking hands because no one else could. You might ask, why don't they get it? Why do they pretend my rise is effortless? Because admitting the truth would destroy their ego. It would force them to confront the fact that you earned what they only fantasize about. It would show them that your power wasn't inherited, gifted, or borrowed. It was forged. And forging anything requires pressure they've spent their whole lives avoiding. Picture them wanting your glow but rejecting your darkness, wanting your confidence but